Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. Wow, I know I was away yesterday, so thank you everybody for your patience and understanding. I had a really big day at uni yesterday, or at school online. We're all online, and it was pretty tough day, and I sort of needed a break. So thank you for all joining me. So I trust you are all well and that things are going good. I also need to apologize for my hair. It is getting long, but because we're in lockdown, I can't get it cut. So it's getting very unruly. So I apologize. Hello, Bruce, the COVID poo. How are you? Yes, please make sure you hit the like button. So we've got a lot to catch up on. There were 3 big events that happened in courts yesterday. One in the local court, one in the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and one in the High Court of Australia. And I think they all have ramifications at some stage. Rufus got his first shot of Pfizer today. And how do you feel, Rufus? So I want to look over Kristo again and have a discussion about Kristo, because I think that's really important to do. Then we want to look at what happened in the Supreme Court, because there's some lawsuits filed against the New South Wales government against mandatory vaccinations. So I want to have a look at those. And then we want to look at what the High Court ruled, because the High Court has actually ruled that media is liable for any third-party content, so defamation. So essentially, if you host a page and somebody puts something defamatory on it, that page, you may be held liable. And let's have a chat to see what that means for example, YouTube, and what that means for creators, and what that means for people that run pages, and what that means for free speech. You know, people are already complaining that you can't talk about this on Facebook, or this on YouTube, or this on YouTube, or this on YouTube. Is this going to make it even harder? So these are the topics that we want to cover tonight. And then, oh, really? The High Court one? Okay. But it's still significant. It still is a significant decision, though. I'm wondering whether Braz will try and use it in his case. I also made the mistake. Hello, Plan to Create. It was a nice day. It was a lovely day for a walk. I went out for a walk. It was a lovely day, and yeah, I'm getting somewhat distracted at the moment, so I'm not getting as much work done as I should be getting, but that's okay. I'll get used to it. That means I'll be curbing my jokes from now on. Yes, chaotic, because I'm going to be I could be liable. I don't think Buzz can use it. Well, it'll be interesting, isn't it? Chaotic. And I haven't had a chance to speak to Poppy Seeds about it either, so I'd be interested to see what that's about. So let's start. That's what I'm still trying to wrap my head around, the Fox. I haven't quite wrapped my head around what the outcome all means. I did pull a few articles. It's been covered, of course, in the US. The US have got a couple of stories on it, which is really interesting that it's getting some coverage over there. Yeah, so I walked around a place here called Cherry Lake, and it's about 3.5 km. So that's my week's worth of exercise done. So yeah. Oh, Plan to Create and the Fox. Are you out of lockdown tomorrow? You get out of lockdown tomorrow, or is it tonight? Or is it over the weekend? I don't know. I just know the country areas are being released from lockdown. Is it tomorrow? And it's just the city slickers that are still locked down. Midnight tonight. It does do lots for your mental health. Yes, it does. Midnight tonight. Wow. And you don't have a curfew and you don't have a limit as to how far you can go. What are you going to do with your newfound freedom tomorrow? Go get your hair cut? And, of course, we want to look at Katie Joy's Twitters because, that's been another day because she has allegedly filed something, a countersuit or something for $100,000. See, this is the thing. How can she say that she's had business loss when her sub count's been growing the whole time? And the only time that she had a loss in her sub count was during her proceedings with Teddy Westbrook. So I don't understand how she can do that. Okay, a lot of hospitality venues aren't open because they can only have 10 inside and 20 outside. Okay, so they'll be still doing a lot of takeaway, right? Well, I think, 23rd of September, I think they're only looking at letting us go 10Ks. So, anyway. So let's start off with the Kristo stuff. So I'm just going to relook at what I posted. Just going to relook at what I posted yesterday. I apologize, that was done. So after my class yesterday, I went to bed. I slept for about 3 hours. I did the video and then I went back to bed. So I thought, I have to see what happened to Kristo. So I did it. So that's how much I love you all. As long as people in Melbourne don't have parties. Oh, the fox. You've caught me out. So remember, this was from yesterday. And I did post the article, but I wanted to know what you all thought about it. So remember, the New South Wales... the New South Wales Police asked the court to fine Jordan Shanks in contempt of court over the video he posted that airs the statement from the Deputy Premier, which forms part of the case against Kristo. Now, this is the thing. What is the relevance between finding contempt of Shanks to do with Kristo's thing? This is what I'm having trouble with. This is what I'm having trouble reconciling. So remember, he was arrested for the Fixated Persons Unit in June and charged with stalking Mr. Barilaro after he approached the politician twice at Macquarie University on the street party. At a street party. No, you've given me... I saw party for Will. Oh, can I go back? Can we start again? All right, let's go back to the paragraph. So Kristo was arrested by the Fixated Persons Unit and charged with stalking Barilaro after he approached the politician twice, once at the Macquarie University and once near Parliament. And, of course... So Kristo was arrested, but then Shanks has continued to do videos about Barilaro and who's being sued for it. So they're saying, New South Wales Police is saying that the statement from Barilaro forms part of the brief of evidence against Mr. Lenker. What does Shanks's actions have to do with Kristo? This is what I want to know. Unless we heard from the police commissioners themselves that they seem to run the case. I get the impression that they used Shanks and Kristo. They think that they're They think they're one and the same person, but they're different. And the Assistant Police Commissioner even admitted in the Senate hearing that they should have started the investigation from the start. So at the procedural hearing in the case, the prosecutor applied for the court to find Mr. Shanks in contempt over the video in which he raises sub judice concerns and could influence witnesses. About 1 minute of the 11-minute video was aired before the magistrate said enough. While she found Friendly Geordies doesn't hold a candle to the satire of the case, she was not certain that it was contempt of court. So they were also saying that he named the officers. Now, what is naming the officers such a big deal? So again, they're using actions. So Shanks has on the video revealed the names of the police officers that arrested Lanka. But I still don't know how or what it's got to do with Kristo's charges. Unless they're trying to say that Kristo was working under the instructions of Shanks, which is the only way that it sort of makes any sense. But then that's not even there. So Mr. Lanka's barrister said the matter did not warrant urgent suppression order on material associated with the proceedings against Mr. Lanka or the removal of the video, since it was published 2 weeks ago and you can't unscramble the eggs. Oh, okay. Oh, is that what it is planned to create? If they are planned to create, says if they're dealing with terrorists, then they don't want their names. Very good point, plan to create. So he argued that the broad suppression order could not be made without impacting other media outlets. So if I could do something individually against Mr. Shanks, then I would, but I don't see how I could have him bound by the order. And then on the question of Mr. Shanks being in contempt, she said she will leave it open for it to be revisited in 5 weeks. Yeah, it looks like that's what they've got to do. So that's where we are with the Shanks, with the Kristo matter. So in 5 weeks' time, we're back at court again for the next part of it. But it looks like it was all about the actions of Shanks and the video of Shanks that he has been doing. Doesn't seem to involve a lot of what Kristo had done. So I just find it very, very interesting. So actually, I made the mistake of listening to the New South Wales press conference, and I was yelling at my poor radio. Oh dear me! Oh, I tell you. And I go, I don't know why I was listening to that. I don't know. All right. So how does everyone feel about that? How do you think it's going to go? Oh, the press, yeah. Well, the thing is, there's nothing, I mean, the Sydney Morning Herald is the only media summary that I can actually find about the actual matter. So if anyone out, like if it's been covered, I haven't found it. So that's all that they have reported on. But I'd like to know against the statement of facts. Isn't the police commissioner a friend of ScoMo's or a neighbour of ScoMo's? I was screaming at journalists on Twitter trying to get them to ask some real questions. I was screaming at the radio. Find him in contempt, but would give John time like rope to hang himself, but he's smart enough not to slip up. university event and see other people's opinion. I should play one of Gladys's presses to show our overseas friends how to not answer direct questions. I just love it. She goes, we're going to give you freedoms, but if there's a positive case, we're going to lock you down again. Like, hello. What's the point of opening up if you're just going to lock back down? Why don't you wait until you can open up fully? And I hate, oh, I have a whole video on that and you were screaming that. Oh. And yeah. Is right. Are they onto the fourth? Don't they get how all this works? But the government? Nah. Government don't get anything. So what really annoys me about the New South Wales presses is that they go, we had 6 deaths today. Person 1 had an underlying health condition. Person 2 was fully vaccinated but had a health issue. Person 3, who cares what health issues they had? If they died of COVID, they died of COVID. Whether or not they had a pacemaker, whether they had diabetes, whether they had heart disease, if it was COVID that killed them, it was the COVID that killed them. Yeah. I tell you what, it's very frustrating. So, they had an underlying health condition. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. This is from the Sydney criminal lawyers. So they have said police officer challenges government vaccination policy. So again, this was yesterday. So there's a New South Wales police officer is taking legal action. I believe there's four actions being filed in the Supreme Court. So we'll look at another story on that. So a New South Wales police officer is taking legal action against State Health Minister Brad Hazzard for the COVID-19 injection, which for many of us is all intents and purposes mandatory if they wish to work and lead semi-normal lives. Although police officers have not been singled out for mandatory vaccinations, they are still considered to be seekers and have been urged to obtain vaccinations. Over and above that, officers who live in the LGAs of concern in Greater Sydney must be vaccinated before they can leave those LGAs to go to work. So, Senior Constable Belinda Hoycraft, who is attached to the Dog and Mounted Unit, has filed civil proceedings in the Supreme Court of New South Wales against the Health Minister, seeking a declaration that the government does not have the power to pass orders which essentially coerce people into being vaccinated. I know people that have quit their jobs because they don't want to be vaccinated. Ms. Hoycraft's legal team says the lawsuit specifically challenges the extent to which the government may coerce its citizens to have themselves injected with a drug they object to taking, especially when there is a less intrusive alternative of having the unvaccinated citizens tested to ensure they are not carrying the virus. The senior constable has been working as a police officer for 14 years and has been told she cannot return to work until she's had 1 dose of COVID-19 vaccination because she comes from a hotspot zone. I'm not against vaccines as such, however, I'm concerned about the long-term effects of COVID-19 given they are relatively new vaccines. She said in an affidavit, I'm concerned the New South Wales government is giving me an ultimatum by forcing me to take the vaccine, otherwise I will be unemployed. So she's willing to undertake the rapid antigen test before work. Given the haphazard rollout of vaccinations against Australia, the unreliable supplies, many workers who wanted vaccines have been unable to receive them. So the New South Wales government was forced to extend the vaccination deadline until Sunday, September 19. The vaccine requirement applies to areas of Bayside, Blacktown, Burwood, Campbelltown, Canterbury, Bankstown, Cumberland, Fairfield, Georges River, Liverpool, Parramatta, Strathfield. She's not alone in her stance. Construction workers have also planned to start a class action, but they've not raised the adequate funds. And let's face it, being able to pay bills and keep food on the table is a powerful motivator to stay employed. Many feel they don't have a choice. Another area of concern is the fact that recently the Fair Work Ombudsman has issued advice that businesses are at liberty to make their own workplace policies regarding the vaccination of employees. So the Ombudsman had qualified this by saying that such policy must be lawful and reasonable. However, the ambiguity of the advice gives little credibility, certainty to employers regarding what they should or should not be doing. However, industry groups have warned that many businesses could well face staff shortages and walk right out the door. Many will choose freedom of choice rather than forced to have a vaccine they don't want. The outcome of Ms. Hoycraft's legal challenge is likely to affect thousands of workers, not just in New South Wales, but across Australia. Recently, Queensland put in place rules which stop essential workers who are not vaccinated from crossing the border to work. Workers in quarantine, aged care and areas of health have already been told they must have vaccination to work. The Human Rights Organisation says there is no specific law requiring a person to be vaccinated, and individuals, businesses and service providers are encouraged to obtain legal advice about their own specific circumstances to carefully consider the position of vulnerable groups in the community before imposing any blanket COVID-19 vaccinations or policies or conditions. They may have the unintended consequences, particularly for some people with disability, and may breach federal discrimination law. So that has started today, and I think this is so. Then, so there's four. As I said, there's 4 cases in the Supreme Court. So that police officer was one. One case alleges that Brad Hazzard breached the right to privacy, and there's been more than 50,000 people watched the stream today. 3 of the 4 cases are against Health Minister Brad Hazzard and raise varying legal approaches, including constitutional arguments. New South Wales has required all frontline workers. No, I didn't see that. So as Justice Robert Beach Jones today dealt with directions hearing for the cases, the New South Wales Supreme Court heard there were common threads. Barrister Jason Harkis, acting for the plaintiffs in one matter, revealed there would be extensive argument about the interpretation of the Public Health Act under which Mr. Hazzard made orders, the presumption that the Parliament would not have intended to give the Minister the power to breach the right to bodily integrity without clear legislative authority is likely to be the primary argument advanced by all 3 plaintiffs. I don't think the New South Wales Parliament has even sat, has it, since COVID? So I guess then the question is, if Parliament hasn't sat to debate, does the Health Minister have the power? I don't know. The case would also raise allegations Mr. Hazzard failed to take into account relevant considerations and breached the right to privacy and natural justice when making the orders. So 2 international experts and immunologists and a vaccinologist would compile reports making the safety, efficacy and ultimate reasonableness of compulsory vaccines a central issue. While the direction hearings is a relatively procedural step, the live stream on the court's YouTube channel attracted an enormous audience of more than 50,000 people. So a link was shared to an anti-lockdown Telegram chats, while participants later uploaded recorded video of the stream. So he said a 2-day hearing from September 30, noting the legal regime may have changed by October after Dr. Harkis requested time to have expert evidence organised. If a plaintiff files a case, a broad challenge to the current regulations that your client did in the current environment, they need to be ready to get onto it and get onto it quickly. One of the cases has been launched by a police officer, so we looked at that. The state of New South Wales wants a 4th case launched by a man named Sergey, summarily dismissed on the grounds of it is misconceived. There are so many problems with this case, it's difficult to know where to start, said the barrister for the state. There's no named defendant. There is no articulated legal claim. Rather, it's just a set of aspirational orders to which a significant extent are entirely misconceived, such as the plaintiff and his immediate family be exempted from microchipping. What? He was representing himself, protested, and questioned on what grounds the case would be dismissed. The justice said that the state would outline its reasons, providing an opportunity for a response before the hearing. So there you go. So what do you think? I watched that scene. He was representing himself. He had no idea. I would figure that he did. I'm sort of getting the impression that he had no idea what he was doing. So September 30, that is down. So going to be interesting to see how that happens, because that, again, may have ramifications around the rest of Australia. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, I know a lot of you cannot make microchips that small as well to include the paranephrin. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, that's interesting. I have to look up that case. Short order. What was it? Well, yes, I know the vaccine rates dropped in New South Wales today. Yeah, I think people were getting excited, but now when she said, well, if there's a positive case, we're locking you down, people are going, well, why bother? So as I said, the High Court said this, we're going to look at, this is USA Today, which I find to be really interesting that this matter has hit the US. Australia's High Court rules media liable for third-party content on their Facebook pages. As I said, so this is Facebook. But does this have ramifications towards other platforms? Is this just going to be the start of it? And is this going to have international ramifications? I'm in country and still waiting for my appointment. I'm sorry to hear that, Leanne. So Australia's highest court on Wednesday I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning. Wednesday made a landmark ruling that media outlets are publishers of alleged defamatory comments posted by third party on their official Facebook pages. The High Court dismissed an argument by some of Australia's largest media organisations, Fairfax, Nationwide News, Australian News Channel, that for people to be publishers, they must be aware of defamatory content and intend to convey it. The court found in a 5-2 majority decision that by facilitating and encouraging the comments, the company had participated in the communications. It would seem that way, the Fox. The decision opens the media organisations to be sued for defamation by former juvenile detainee Dylan Voller. Voller wants to sue the television broadcaster and newspaper publishers over comments on Facebook pages of the Sydney Morning Herald, The Australian, the Centraline Advocate, Sky News Australia, and the Bolt Report. So his defamation case launched in the New South Wales Supreme Court. in 2007 was put on 17 was put on hold, while the separate question of whether media companies were liable for Facebook users' comments was decided. The companies posted content on their pages about news stories that referred to Voller's time in the Northern Territory Juvenile Detention Centre. This highlights the need for urgent legislative reform, and I call on Australia's Attorney Generals to address this anomaly and bring Australian law into line with comparable Western democracies, Miller added. 9, the new owner of the Sydney Morning Herald, said it hoped for a current review of defamation laws in Australia by Australian state and territory governments would take into account the ruling and its consequences for publishers. We are obviously disappointed with the outcome of that decision, as it will have ramifications for what we can post on social media in the future. We also note the positive steps which the likes of Facebook have taken since the Voller case first started, which now allows publishers to switch off comments on stories. Facebook did not immediately respond to requests for comments. So Voller's lawyers welcome the ruling for its wider implications for publishers. This historic step forward is achieved justice for Dylan and also in protecting individuals, especially those who are in a vulnerable position, from the subject of unmitigated social media mob attacks, the lawyer said. This decision puts responsibility where it should be on media companies with huge resources to monitor public circumstances where they know there is a strong likelihood of an individual being defamed. The High Court decision upholds the ruling of the 2 lower courts on the error of liability. Courts have previously ruled that people can be held liable for the continued publication of defamatory statements on platforms they control, such as notice boards, only after they become aware of the comments. So that was from the US. So then we go, so that was from the US publication. This is from the ABC. So this is Dylan Voller. So there was obviously something that was said. I don't know exactly what's... today's decision cleared the way for Mr. Voller to continue his defamation case against some of Australia's biggest media companies. Mr. Voller's treatment as a detainee sparked a royal commission into Northern Territory's youth detention system after images of him shackled to a chair wearing a spit hood were revealed by the ABC's Four Corners program. He launched the defamation action in the New South Wales Supreme Court against groups including the Sydney Morning Herald, the Australian and Sky News over third-party comments about him on their Facebook post. So the court found that by creating a public Facebook page and posting content, the outlets had facilitated, encouraged, and therefore assisted the publication of comments from a third-party Facebook user, and they were therefore publisher of those comments. So there's not yet been a ruling on whether or not the comments are defamatory, but the publishers do have other defences they can rely on. But this is a historic step forward. So as I said, there could be ramifications. So if you have a public Facebook page, you could be actually liable for comments that are put onto that page by a third party about somebody else under the rule in the Australian High Court today. Yes, I think so, Kim. I mean, you can't go higher than. Can you go higher than the Australian Highest Court? Yeah. Yes, I'm responsible for. Mim Amazing says ML. Sounds about right. Joanne is responsible for our comments. Right. Do I have to put another disclaimer? I am not responsible for the comments that I've said here. You don't use, you know what? I had somebody message me on Facebook the other day to see if I was all right. Local, state, federal, high, yeah. So they can't, there's no other way. There's no other way that we can go. So, yeah, so this is my question. If this is a ruling against Facebook, is it going to put other social media outlets or the other social media platforms on notice? Could it happen to them? Could they say to Google, you are responsible for everything that your creators put on that's defamatory? And this is what this is what the Bruz case, this is what Bruz is trying to make. Bruz is trying to show that, say that Google is responsible for friendly daughters because he didn't take it down. So yes, there is lots of it has lots of, it could possibly have lots of ramifications. Could you imagine if YouTube was discovered to be liable for everything that a content creator posted, and they go, for everything that they say it's defamatory, you are liable? We know one content creator that would cause them a lot of pain. Hello, Will. I didn't see you drop in. So it does, doesn't it? So I guess if it's a private page, I wonder if you're covered. It's not law yet. It's just all speculation. But yes, it may open. It may open up a big can of worms. I think it will. Surely it has to have other ramifications. It has to have other ramifications around. Oh yes, Bo. We haven't had any around for a while, have we? So, well, it's interesting. I was speaking to journalists today, and they've been in the media for 20 years. And I said, in your 20 years, how many times have you been sued for defamation? And they said, I once breached they were working on the ABC, and you're not supposed to have a political opinion, and they broke that, so they were nearly done for breach. But they said in the whole of the time, in the whole 20 odd years they've been in the media, how many? Not one defamation suit. I said, so what would happen if a journalist got 3 defamation suits in a short amount of time? And they said they would need to find a new job. Yes, that's right. So anyway, just questions. They're the questions that I that's the point I want to make, that there are some journalists that go through a whole career without one defamation. And I was told that if you have an opinion, you actually have to have something to back up you have to have yeah. So as long as you can back up your opinion, you as a journalist, you won't get sued if you have an opinion, is what I was told. Bolt has, would you believe, Bolt's defamation barrister is Jordan's barrister. Dr. Matthew Collins is the barrister that defends Andrew Bolt, believe it or not. So I found that to be rather interesting. So, all right, guys. So that's what I hear. Anyway. Hello, totally clueless. How are you? Matthew Collins. Dr. Matthew Collins is ranked as one of the best defamation barristers in Australia. I mean, he actually wrote the textbook on defamation law in Australia, so that's taught at university. So, so when you do the defamation part of law, it's his textbook. So he wrote the book. That's why he's a very hard man to get hold of. So yesterday, Katie Joy said, today I filed a lawsuit against Steve McRae. Lawsuit seeks damages in excess of $100,000 for defamation per se, injurious falsehoods, plus consequential damages for contempt of court for publishing confidential court records in violation of the court and attorney fees. Now, she didn't say it was a count before. Earlier she said today would be a good day to file a 6-figure countersuit. But because, see, I don't know how all of this works. It's all very confusing. And I thank you to Will, who sent me some stuff so I can try and get my head around it. But I still can't work out how this pocket service starts. But there's still nothing officially filed in the court. So I don't know how this all works. So, and she was quoted for calling out Jen and Katie Duggar's insensitive COVID pregnancy announcement in the People. In People magazine today, page 6, The Independent, Daily News. US Weekly, Entertainment Tonight. Hello. Who was that, Kim? Joe, did you see the song she wrote? It's so funny. Which one? Who wrote the song? There's 8 or 9 songs at the moment. It's really good. Well, mine's not very good because I didn't actually do it properly. But anyway. What about me? It isn't fair. I want my letter. KJ wrote a song? No way. Did she? KJ wrote a song. All right, I'll go and have a look on Reddit. So she's talking about Arkansas, calling out the COVID deniers. Well, she would have been better off doing mediation. Thank you for everyone for your support and kind messages related to the lawsuit. I cannot speak specifically about the case. I'm suing for injurious falsehoods for false testimonies that were made to prevent third parties from working with me or to consume my content. What does she mean, consume her content? I don't want to eat her content. These actions greatly harm my business as multiple creators were influenced not to associate with me based on false statements made about me. We know multiple creators that went after me because of these lies. This is why the evidence preservation is crucial. But what's that all got to do with Steve McRae? How come he's being blamed for the creators not wanting to associate with her? And don't forget, her business is booming. How many times has she said her business is booming? How is she going to prove? I think your bad behavior towards pretty much everyone is the reason people won't associate with you. Sweetie, darling, you reap what you sow. Right, she did it herself. Everyone was and still speaking on what she's doing. She hurts her own business. Enough is enough. People with issues with you have no idea what you have gone through because of this man. He publicly begged for people's attention in chats just to smear you. His purpose in life is to ruin. Oh, you don't know. All right. So chaotic. Katie Joy had said that she was sending letters to YouTubers that had spoken about her, and a lot of YouTubers got letters, and I didn't. So Leanne, a lot of people don't like her. So the whole thing about the letter was, what about me? What about me? Because I talk about you, and you didn't give me a letter. I want my letter. That's all I want, my letter. But there is a whole collection. There is a whole collection of people who did get letters have published songs now. Let me see if I can pull them up for you. The other thing is the lawyer that that she signed up with, I was feeling left out, the Fox, and I thought, I can't. So why is Graham Martin's, her defamation expert, business Martin Docs, completely gone? When I was putting something together, not saying he pulled it because of this getting called out, but the thing is suspicious. So we discovered that there was some, hello, Callan, there was some documents that we thought that she had purchased from her lawyer that would end up with his name that she filled in and she sent off to everybody. But interestingly enough, now the website's not there. Yeah, I mean, she sent Emily a letter. Emily said there's nothing to preserve. I think part of the problem is I really just I'm not really mean to her. I just call her out on her behavior. I'm not prepared to do it. All right. This is on Reddit. No, Cal. Not the same person. So it says, so Zag says, because Zag was saying that Emily got the letter because she's part of this cult. She says, hey, Zag, this is false. I wasn't swayed into not speaking to KJ by anything other than her actions on social generally and toward me directly. I have no idea who this cult is and have not engaged with SM. Facts. I appreciate your attempt to shift the subject with new premise. I'm worried about nothing. Preservation is a proper between parties, but continue with the false dictory, and the two situations are the same. They aren't. Finally, strategy implies something was well thought out. And it says, if Katie Paulson could read, she'd be upset. Is that? So there's a few memes going around. Yeah, so Emily D. Baker got a letter. And as I said, I don't know why you would send her a letter. And apparently Todd Chrisley also spoke about it again. He spoke about the lawsuit. I heard that somebody was saying he spoke about it again. KJ writes a song. Okay, I'll see if I can find it. KJ writes a song. If KJ could read, I was going to behave after watching this. True. Oh, where are we? Can't find it. Posts. That's what it looks like, doesn't it? It really does look like that, and that's really sad, actually. I think you're right. I have a feeling Plan to Create that she's just trying to get dirt. That's really what I'm sort of wondering, because I thought she said she had everything. If she's got all the correspondence, why does she need to have everybody else preserve it? It's not there anymore, Kim. KJ writes a song. It's not there. I've just searched for it. So I'll have another look. I can't find it. I did have a look. Anyway. I know. I believe, Dan, you can get it on your iPad. I know Harrison uses it on his iPad. I've not tried it on my iPad. I should do and see how it goes. Yeah. But again, I've not seen. And the other thing was, there was supposed to be a temporary restraining order hearing as well, but that disappeared from the court listing. So I don't know whether something's been settled privately or whether that was made private. Well, yeah, you just can't handle everything over. You just can't hand everything over, can you? Hey, KJ, you can have all my emails. No way. So, and essentially everybody that doesn't like KJ is part of some cult, allegedly. So that's where all of this comes from. So what we might do is let's have a look at some of the tunes that have been done, because they are some pretty. Thanks, Kim. I think. Hello, Molly Moo. As a mod, Kim, you might be able to put the link in. Now, I know that Erin put a playlist together of all the songs, and there are some good ones. Well, I think, Bo, it's got to do with jurisdiction, to be perfectly honest with you. I haven't listened to Little Red's song yet. I'm needing to do that. Is there any more other than Little Red? Did anyone else release another one? I've heard Road Hogs. I was just going to pull up EKC, because she had she put together a playlist, and I was just going to pull that up and have a look at that. Oh, Little Reds. Okay, so it's called Donnie Morgan's. Yeah, so this is called the Diss List. So we've got here, oops. We've got EKC, we've got Roadhog, we've got mine, we've got Suzanne, Dottie Morgan, Red's Rhetoric, Carolyn Ironwell, True Sleuth, and Little Red. All right, so let's look at, as I said, I started to do, oh yeah, Dottie Morgan, We Will Mock You. So there's 9 songs out at the moment. She did a type O negative song or something. Oh, did she? All right, let's watch Little Reds, because I haven't watched it. True Sleuth was really good. I liked hers. And I got a message from Red's Rhetoric about they might be putting it, they're talking about putting it on a mix track so that you can download. All right, here we go. Okay, I know a girl, and bitch said my name.
Ever since then, I've never been the same. Oh, she's such a big con. Katie, are you drunk again? Are you drunk again? I got an email to save all of this shit. It's from her lawyer, so I'm sure that he's a dick. Oh, she's so nondescript. Katie's drunk on Instagram. She's drunk again. Oh, trash bag, here is my song. I hope that it will do. All the time, you just whine for you. I know a girl, she said I called her friend. Left 40 voicemails, wishing she was dead, but it really was her. I wish she never said my name, never said my name. Oh, shady, oh, shady, oh, shady, shady Kate.
The thing is, most of the people can't sing, and that's the whole point. Most of the people can't sing. Now, I've got to just hope I can copy this. Oops. So, this is what started it. If you haven't heard this one, I have to say, I was singing this for ages. This is Red's rhetoric. Red's rhetoric. So, he got a letter too. I'll just play a couple of these. But, yeah, most...
Katie Joy, not too long ago, made a post on Twitter saying that soon many people would be singing a different tune. I can't speak for anyone else but myself.
So this is the thing. Everyone's singing a different tune. So, and that's where all these tunes are coming from but Red's, this guy's the one that started it, and it all came from there. And then everybody's doing songs about getting their letters, and I went, well, what about me? I missed out.
But as it pertains to me, she was right. She was absolutely right. Do you hear it, Katie Joy? Do you fucking hear that? It's the new tune. I don't know, Katie. You're braver than I am. I wouldn't want to hear me sing, but god damn it, you are fucked in the head, so I guess we have no choice. Here we go! Their lips are certain witch, bugging like an itch. Can you believe I got an email from this bitch? She thought we would look with terror and with fear. If you thought that I say put down the beer, this asshole thinks she can scare us, saying there's info to collect. But little does she know that it will have the opposite effect. Fuck you, Katie Joy, nothing my Chips Ahoy. There is nothing delicious with her. Fuck you, Katie Joy, crispy soups I will enjoy. Get ready to be deposed. Stop. Come on, Katie, do we really have to do this? I mean, this shit is making my ears bleed, for fuck's sake. The email said to save messages and text. Let me explain in the verse coming next. This email said I can't discuss the matter too. Well, to that I say, you can eat my greasy poo. Don't control me and I will criticize you if I want. The only lawyer I will follow, the one repping Steve, you cunt. Fuck you, Katie Joy, nothing my chips ahoy. There is nothing delicious with her. Fuck you, Katie Joy, crispy soups I will enjoy. Get ready to be deposed. Stop. You know, Katie Joy, I got that email at like 9 o'clock at night, and the email said good afternoon. First of all, that's in the evening, dumbass. So if you could please inform your lawyer of that, that would be absolutely fucking fantastic. By the way, if you want my communications with Steve Supreme, go through Steve's lawyer. He already has it, and guess what? I have nothing to hide. Absolutely nothing is going to help you. So once again, go fuck yourself, bitch. Saying I'm involved in an active campaign against you. Bitch, you ain't worth the time. You never will be. Make sure you remember that. Asshole.
That is the song that started it all. And then people said, oh, and this is what these tweets are made for blocking. But as I said, there's now 9. This one's a good one. This is Little Sleuth, without a reason to sue. It is a little bit like Eurovision.
MC Truth and DJ Defamation. On Friday, you say we'll all be singing a different tune? Okay, sure, Jan. I got you. You say a lot of bombshells are coming our way? Well, here's an actual truth bomb. A blow to your ego coming your way. Let me tell you about Miss Ball. She doesn't get any respect at all. From a boring wife who wrote for Kathy O's, she's now a teen channel who picks her goods. Her critics said she will block because they call her out and end up doxxed. From Tucky to the Duggars to LB, she had a crystal balls to come for me. Because of what she will say and do, she's now landed herself instead of roll lawsuits. There is also a man she can't let be who goes by the name of Ty Chrisley. He got sick of her and he acted bad. Tracks her every Wednesday on his podcast. She thinks it's a game that he's making sounds. She should know by now he isn't fucking around. She defames and lies all night and day. She said that he is 100% gay. She's cold and marvelous. She's not a hooker. Gets her coin from stalking the Duggars. Not 1, not 2, but 4 videos a day. One day they might have a lot coming her way. Over 600 videos, girl just chill. She uses them to pay her bills. I'm not done yet, get out of my way, cause next we'll be talking about Steve McRae. She flipped out on Twitter all night and day, then said she had a lot coming our way. Because she always says she's dropping bombs, many of us laugh because we have no qualms. She does nothing but lie and fail. The supposed bomb was a fucking email. I got it at 10 p.m. at night. It opened with good afternoon. Yeah, that's right. A dozen more got the email too, where her lawyer implied that she would sue. Once our data by Friday night, we laughed and joked and said, yeah, right. She relies on the AdSense she earns, an ego so big she never learns. Because she thinks she's as sly as a fox, now she can't afford to get Botox. I don't get the Duggar infatuation. Maybe they'll sue her for defamation. Still, she gets no satisfaction, so maybe we'll join in no class action. Success of these lawsuits, she will doubt. She kept around and she found out. I bet she will say I'm dissing her for it's okay, whatever. Peace, I'm out.
Okay. So Kellen, yes, she's in us. Yes, I did hear that. Totally clueless. I did. It's just okay. Oh, cool. I'll go. I've just got to pull up. I've just got to go back and pull that up so I can get the video. So yeah, a lot of the people can't sing that, and that's the thing. Oh, we don't want to listen to Little Reds again. Sorry, Little Red. but it's just, yeah, it's very, very interesting that everyone's just started to get on board. It'll be very interesting to see how many we end up with at the end of the. I wonder how would you be feeling hearing all of these songs? I did respond to a tweet from Steve McRae, and I said, "Oh, hopefully I get a letter now." I'm really sad. I'm just all about the letter because I just want to go. I'm going to ignore it. Oh! Yes, Roadhog did not say who it was. He's never known. Oh, this is it, is it? So she says, okay, True Sleuth has done a diss track on me. Well, here's mine. If you're KJ and you know it, clap your hands. If you're mean to me and you know it, here's an email from my lawyer. If you're looking for a fight and you want it done real right, then don't do how I did it. Yeah, so this is a parody account as well. So this is the parody account. So, but yeah, it's funny. That parody account is funny. If you're KJ and you know it, clap your hands. If you're KJ and you know it, clap your hands. If you're KJ and you know it, no. If you're mean to me and know it, here's an email from my lawyer. If you're looking for a fight, wanna get it right. Email from my lawyer. If you're looking for a fight and you want to get done real right, clap your hands. Yeah, it's a parody, Kim, but that's okay. It's a parody. Everybody, all after, let's go. Let's sing it all together. If you KJ and you know it, clap your hands. If you KJ and you know it, clap your hands. If you're mean to me and know it, here's an email from my lawyer. If you're looking for a fight and you want it done all right, then clap your hands. I don't think many people. You don't think many people will clap on the. It's funny. Nope. Rufus says, I would clap, but I want to be sued for defamation. Oh, that's funny. Oh, boy. Oh, that's funny. There was a screenshot. That defamation. There was, I remember seeing a screenshot of something that KJ had where it had Tooth Fairy that said that V was in bed. And so we all just went, oh, so it's the Tooth Fairy. So, well, I typed in rhythm. Does that count? How do you make Katie fall out of a tree? Mention her online so she has to call a lawyer. Oh, dear me. That's funny. So she's done another whole, she did a whole another day on Douglas stuff. So we know that's her bread and butter. So yes, I was just watching Roadhog's stream. I was just watching. So so she also wrote this. So many people complaining about silencing them are the same people that have tried to deplatform, demonetize, and set up petitions to remove me from social media. They've cheered on bogus lawsuits that violate freedom of speech. No one is being silenced, period. I will not be speaking about anything legally. I only want people to stop this insanity of when it happens to me, it's wonderful. But if the same thing happens to them, I'm a bad person. I cannot win no matter what I do. All I want is the intense and excessive harassment to stop. Stop talking about it online to start off with. P.S. And then someone said, there's P.S. When have I never been able to silence anyone? Never. That's not how any of this even works. Grow up, grow a spine, gain some maturity, realize that sometimes in life things happen that are not fun, but they happen. Responsibilities cannot be ignored. Someone says, people ignore responsibilities all the time. For example, Carl and the court, family medical work. Just saying. I don't. I take responsibilities and my business seriously. Well, Jenna, I want one so I can sing Return to Sender. Return to Sender. Oh, dear. About all the Diglett people, the Duggar people, because they make her money. Oh, this is one thing. Yeah, see, I don't understand about even airing the grievance. Isn't that what Festivus is for? The public airing of grievances? Is Seinfeld to blame for the public airing of grievances? Is that where this? Do we blame Seinfeld? If you've never watched Seinfeld, there's Festivus for the rest of us, and they have the public airing of grievances. And I'm wondering if that is it. The Duggars, they're on TLC. They're just a reality family. So anyway. Came out real bad, yeah. So that's where I'm wondering about this public airing of grievances. Got to blame somebody, don't we? We might as well blame Seinfeld. So yeah, I think she can. I think she's just, I don't know what she's trying to get. She's hoping to, if she gets enough emails, she'll be able to put two and two. They can put two and two together and she can make 5. Took the words right out of my mouth. Observations by Bill says, Dear Katie Joy, congratulations. You finally did it. Took some time and hard work from you, but you are now famous. I hear they put an album out for you. You must be so happy and excited. When do you go on tour? I know you are not singing, but you could do an album cover. Oh. You could do the album cover. That is classic. You took the dough right out of my account. It must have been while you were suing me. Cool. I know T-Spirit is working on a song. Very interesting. Oh, yes, the black and white cookie was good. Yes. The dartboard would be a good idea. You're right. Yes. RESPECG, why you haven't emailed me? Cool. I like these. See? I might have to bring out a second song, hey? Actually, I still actually have to record the one I need to actually record the one I actually have to do for university. It was funny because I did the What About Me one, and I should have actually done the one I'm supposed to do, but this one was more fun. Oh, dear. Anyway. Accidentally, Cali Street. Yeah. So. Oh, dear. That's good. You know, it's been a lot of fun. Forget about Brown and Ben KJ's last attorney in the Tardy case. Yeah. It's definitely every breath you take, every move you. I still think Men at Work. Who can it be now? Who can it be now? Who is that knocking at my door? Who can it be now? Who can it be now? That is just KJ's song. Who's that knocking at my door? Green door. Actually, the fox. I have a red door. A parody of the safety dance. The dance. So. Definitely very interesting. It's definitely going to be very interesting to see how this played out. As I said, I do like Overkill. Drunken Days and Toad. Every tweet you send, every tweet you like, every live you make, email email's fake. I'll be watching you. There's no ocean wide enough. Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no keep emailing you. I like Return to Sender. Yeah. Anyway, it's definitely fun. I'll be watching. It is such a stalker song, isn't it? I know you skipped a line. And I had to add in extra lines. Please, you can see if there's an email in the inbox for me. Oh, yeah. It's a good refreshing from the tea. Cool. There's so many out there when you get to it, isn't it? Death Cab has a stalker song too. Sorry, red door, painted blood door. Nat could have a stand by him. You're just the cult high of moon. See, we've started something now, hey? So I think what we might do is we might leave it there. So yeah, well, the great suggestions. I'm just going to have to see how I go. Just give me some tweets. She's not going to bother me. She's not going to bother me, Callum. That is one thing that I am not scared of, actually, because I'm in a different country. Come on, Katie. Why are you so mean? You know you're jealous. And oh, so green. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. Katie. Yep. So we're gonna I could tribute fancy line. La la la. Yeah, so we might call it a night. Let's leave on this high. Thank you for joining me, and I will catch you again tomorrow night. Please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button, whatever. And yeah, so thank you very much. It's really appreciated. So we got through some songs, and yeah, we've discussed a few issues tonight. And yeah, so thank you for joining me. And yeah, have a good one. My Katie, why are you telling people there's a dream team? There's just 2 lawyers. All right. See you all later. Have a safe day, night, whatever time it is in your place. To the people in regional Victoria, congratulations on your freedom tomorrow. And in fact, in 2 hours, you can go and have some fun. Can we, as the poo cult, be backup singers? Yeah, another fun one. Thanks, Bo. I like fun ones. All right, see you all later. Catch ya.